Welcome to Mailbag, where you're free to leave whenever you want. I am joined this week by Paul Daly and Keith Tomlin. Lads, how are things?
Pretty good, mate. Yeah, can't complain.
Yeah, mustn't grumble. Paul?
Hey, not too bad, mate. Getting over this broken collarbone slowly but surely. Just looking forward to the rest of the build up to Christmas now.
Yeah, it's getting scarily close now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sort of at that midpoint where I've done a little bit of shopping, but I don't think I've done anywhere near enough. I need to write a list. I've just bought things and I don't know who's got what.
It's a bold strategy. I'm probably at that same point now, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, it's a far cry from when I used to just leg it out on Christmas Eve and get everything. Absolutely awful. Terrible season. Right, there's no raffograph anymore. It's gone. The raffograph is officially burnt to the ground. It's just a pile of yeah, maybe bring it
for the
back.
best.
I think it was for the best. It had a good innings. So we'll go straight into hot topics. Palace, isn't it? Christ, Everton and Palace players. I can think of one.
Yeah, one.
Yeah. All right, then first one to this. Ever been sacked or walked?
It's James McCarthy, isn't it?
Oh, there's the other one. I was thinking of a different one.
I was thinking of James Vaughan.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, there is one more I can think of.
Yeah. Yeah, so what story is this from?
I'm guessing it might be the Leather-clad director of football has had his leather waistcoat ripped from his coat peg and told to get on his way, hasn't he?
That's exactly it. I wonder if I always imagine when Moyes went, we got this image that Bill Kenwright kept his cardigan. Remember that? And he keeps it close and he snips it every now and then. I can't think he'd do the same with Marcel Brandt's short sleeve jumper, would he?
Oh no.
That was when it was over for me.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. The man is an absolute monster when you look at his choice of clothing.
Yeah. I mean, he's clearly some European Hank, but you can't get away with that clobber over here, mate.
Nah, not happening.
I haven't even seen his footwear. Can't even imagine how bad that is. Like,
definitely got buckles, haven't they?
Yeah, all over them, yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
I think Leather-clad director of football is the title. And I think I'll put with it that picture of Vito as in Leather Daddy.
I wonder how many times do you reckon we've used that one picture?
Way too many times, I've got to say. So, Keith, have you ever been sacked or walked out of a job or anything like that?
Both. Yeah, I was last time I got sacked from a job was it was the one when I was living in Mallorca, and basically I'd been out there for a while, battling through sort of all manner of things because I'd been lured abroad with promises of like promotions and training courses and we'll do this and do that, and then got fucking none of it. And the guy that ran the company was an absolute cowboy, and it come to a head one day over a disagreement over the way I'd done a job. I called him a bald certain word that we can't repeat on a podcast, and he sacked me on the spot, and that was it. It nearly came to blows. It didn't quite, because one of the other lads there at the time sort of prevailed and like got me out of there before I chucked him in the harbour. And yeah, that was it. So that was the Mallorquin adventure done.
Did you have a nice time in Mallorca though?
Oh, it was great. Honestly, it was lovely. Like, you'd finish work at like 5 o'clock, go home and just like drop the car off and then go straight down the beach. Working in shorts, man, 12 months around the year. Yeah. And now
it's different, wouldn't it?
Now it's just cold and wet and miserable all the time. I do really miss the place, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And no Everton out there either. Like, there's no sort of temptation to go to Goodison on a weekend.
No. I always wanted Real Mallorca, as in a way. Everton need to do us a solid and do a Balearic pre-season, I think.
Yeah, that'd be sensational. Just play play a couple of games against Ibiza and Mallorca.
Yeah. I mean, if we're not going to get into Europe, at least give us something.
Yeah. It's a fair ask, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not ask for much.
Yeah. Keep us happy. I could imagine that. Imagine how many people would go. Everyone would just go, wouldn't they? No,
I haven't had a decent pre-season in ages now, have we?
No. Mine was good.
Was that?
I've said to the kids, if we get another one this summer, a decent one will go somewhere in Europe.
Was that Koeman?
Silver.
2
defeats in an afternoon. It was that one. Amazing scenes. Is that the only time you've ever been sacked? I don't know why.
Yeah.
I imagine you will have been sacked more times than that. Or walked out or something.
Yeah, no, that's genuinely, that's it. That's the only time I've been sacked.
Have you walked out?
I've walked out of another job because it was just, it was part-time work. Ironically, it wasn't long after I got back from Mallorca. And it was like sort of cash in hand, dodgy deals under the table work, installing CCTV cameras and stuff. And basically didn't get paid 1 week. So I just got off.
Yeah, fair enough.
Good man.
Dales, what about you?
Can honestly say, I've never been sacked from a job, never walked away from a job. I think when I was younger, I used to work in retail like quite a lot in the build up towards Christmas. I used to have like Christmas temp jobs. Vividly remember when I worked in Boots years and years ago now, I must have been about 16 or 17. I was working there from September to December and enjoyed it. It was sound. We went out for the Christmas night out once with all of the staff, all the managers there, all the bosses. And who knocks into the Christmas tree pissed and knocks it over on the Christmas day. And then I got a letter on the 24th of December on my last shift saying, thank you for your service. This is the end of your contract. So I suppose, I wouldn't say it's a sacking, it's more of a mutual partner ways. And
it's very footballer.
Yeah, it is. I felt like Solskjaer a little bit, not sacked, but just like, yeah, this isn't going to end well. Let's just call it quits now.
Did you do a leaving video?
What's that?
Did you do a leaving video like Solskjaer?
No. Do you know what I wish I had now? It would have been all over social media. Would have been viral. The only other time I can think of is when I worked in Next. And to be fair, I was there like 3 or 4 years. And I was training to be a teacher then. And it just wasn't like I had like a moment of realization on one of my shifts there. I thought, I'm not doing this for the rest of my life. And with that floor manager, I won't say her name just in case she's watching. Nice person. But she came over to me one day and I was like on the front of the shop, like an unofficial security guard, making sure like no one took anything from the shop. So I was on the front and she came up to me and she went, I want you to read these and revise these. And I thought, what is it? And she gave me like a brochure of like sofas and leather types and everything. And I just took one look at it. Probably the most unprofessional moments in my life ever. I said, I'm not doing that. And she just went, what do you mean you're not doing it? And I just turned around and said, because I'm training to be a teacher, I've not got time to do that. And then must have been about 6 months later, I just left. And to be fair, I've been in the shop since. She's still there. And she always remembers me. Either remembers me as a nice, happy-go-lucky person who's done well for himself, or an absolute twat. I'll let you be the judge of that.
A happy-go-lucky person who couldn't be arsed reading the catalogue. It's fair enough. With the Saturday job, that though, isn't it? Because for the person you're working for in the Saturday job, to them that's their whole working world. So they want to give it loads of attention, but they've really got to realise that you're not going to do something like that. You know?
I think that was it. There were a lot of conversations there, and then we had a lot of young staff at the time, either at uni, just left uni, or going into uni, and the older staff couldn't get their head around that. Whereas now I'm older myself, and I could probably understand a bit more from their point of view. Yeah. At the time, I just had no interest in it at all.
Yeah,
I wish them well.
I've been made redundant from every single job I've ever had except one, and that was
the one you're in now.
Oh no, 2 then. I don't know. If we get an email in the next 15 minutes saying, where are you? Get out. Yeah, so the first job I ever had was in a video shop. Went into work one day and some fella had bought out the shop and was like, we don't work here now. I was like, oh. Just went. That was weird. I just went into work and he said, no, I bought it, you don't work here. Bit on top. Safeway was my second job when I was at uni. That was the only job I've ever left. So then the one after that was doing football stats. That got bought out, made redundant. Money supermarket. I actually talked myself into redundancy in that one. The CEO had taken like all the shareholders had sort of like dragged up in the papers and that he was taking too much money. But 2 weeks after the story came out, there was 26 people getting made redundant from our place. So I just sorted my arse about it. Like, well, come on, what's this about? So like, they were cutting our team in half. I put together this big sort of business case to say why they shouldn't cut our team by half. So I did actually save one job in our team. So the only like it's one person from our team. And I just said, okay, then fuck it, I'll take it. I was kind of thinking I'm in a position here where they're going to say, I've been there that long and I did that much stuff. I thought they'd probably say, no, okay, you won't take it. And he just went, are you sure? Like, yeah. Okay, then fuck. I totally talked myself out of a job. It's all
the team there, lad.
Yeah, and then the one after that, it was at an agency in Liverpool, and there's about 5 of us working there. We're all in there one day. Some fella came and says, "I'm from Inland Revenue." And we're like, "Okay, good. Can we speak to the owner?" No, he's not. He's not here. He'd actually gone to hospital. He'd had a stroke. And he said, "Oh, well, he owe Inland Revenue 80 grand." I was like, "Oh, okay, so that's probably the end of this business." Then he was like, "I would imagine so, yeah." So then that job just disappeared as well. So moral of the story is, don't employ me. That's your business. Next one. Palace players, Everton players at the ready. What rule would you get rid of?
James Vaughan.
Go ahead then. This could be a couple of things.
Oh, actually don't know what this is from. One rule you can get rid of. I'm assuming it's something to do with Plan B and the new restrictions coming in, but I could be wrong.
It's basically the Tories breaking rules. But also I was thinking about it, and I was thinking the offside rule the way it is as well, because that was just a piss take on Monday night.
Yeah.
So anyway, what rule would you get rid of?
You know what? I've jotted down a few, and I've split them into society and football as it is now. So I'll get the society and the everyday day-to-day stuff out the way first of all. There's a few I get rid of in my profession, and I probably shouldn't be saying this on camera because the sneaky gets will probably be watching somehow. I would get rid of Ofsted altogether.
Yeah, I don't know a single teacher who thinks Ofsted any sort of benefit to the teaching profession.
Just absolutely pointless. I think they've had a £24 million increase in their budget to effectively put more pressure on teachers who are pushed to the limit as it is, and to go in and make judgments over 2 days when they don't know those children from Adam. But that's just me. That's a personal gripe. The other one, I would get rid of completely any parking fees for NHS staff, because I think that's over, particularly last year, that was a joke that was allowed to go on. Like, you had doctors and nurses and everyone going in to deal with the pandemic, and then you heard all these stories about cars being left to parking tickets and all that, and it's just an absolute joke. So other than that, moving away from society, with football, there are 2 in particular, and funny enough, offside wasn't even one I thought of immediately, because I've just been that used to really shit offside decisions over the past few years. The one I would get rid of is the stupid rule where a substitute has to go off the pitch.
Yeah.
Technically, the player, when leaving the pitch, they should go off the side they're nearest to. It feels like I'm the only person in the ground who is trying to implement that rule, because Mike Dean let 2 Arsenal players just walk off the pitch the other day. and no Everton player was like contesting it, and I was the only narky get in the upper class shouting, saying, "Why isn't he going off at the side?" I just couldn't get my head around it. So if the referees aren't implementing it, I would just bin it off altogether.
Yeah.
And see also, and I know I'm taking up a lot of time here, but
I might go for it.
I need to vent. The rule where I've never understood it, where a player gets injured, goes off the pitch, and then comes on when the referee says so. I just don't understand that. I don't understand a team lose a player to injury, they effectively go down to 10 men. It's never made sense to me. So they're the rules I'd been off altogether.
Yeah, it's especially mad if a defender goes off and there's a corner, something like that.
Exactly, yeah.
But why should you be like disadvantaged like that? Just so go and spare at the referee then for like not doing the thing with the players going off. It's like the park end when a corner's getting taken. If the ball is slightly out of the quad, there's about 500 people standing up pointing and going spare. Get it back in. It's like about that much out. So yeah, that's one of those really irrational ones as well. Keith, what was your change? Rules anywhere?
Right, society. I'm getting rid of last orders because it's a shambolic rule, and I'll tell you for why. And like you've had issues with this particular establishment in the last 10 days to 2 weeks as well. After Arsenal there on Monday, we retired to town for some beverages, shall we say, and went to go in Rigby's, and we got in Rigby's at 10:30, and they said, "No, we're not serving. We've had last orders." I mean, you have last orders at 10:30. What is that all about?
That's a Monday night as well.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
With the football on.
Yeah.
Shambolic. Just
not doing themselves any favours, are they?
So get rid of the last orders rule.
Yeah.
Like completely.
Yeah, it always just causes chaos anyway, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's just daft. Just get rid. Football, there's plenty that I'd get rid of, but I'm going to add a rule instead. I'm gonna go like completely reverse this here.
Renegade.
I'm gonna add a rule, right? Yeah. And this is my inconsequential pet hate in the sport of football, right? When the ball is rolling towards the goal line and a defender sees it out for a goal kick, right? But they are allowed to like move their entire body to block the person trying to get to the ball. So they're making no attempt to play the ball, but they like swing. I mean, you can't see what I'm swinging from side to side here, right? There is a degree of motion of about like 10 yards either side, and anywhere else on the park, that's a foul because you're stopping the attacker getting to the ball by putting your body in the way and not trying to play the ball. But it's allowed to let it go out for a goal kick. So make that a foul and a bookable offence.
Yeah, it's a strange one.
I hate it.
It's obstruction anywhere else.
It drives me absolutely mental because anywhere else on the pitch, you wouldn't be allowed it.
Yeah, more players just need to slide in when that's happening.
Oh, yeah.
Just slide round, get the ball, something like that.
Yeah.
Bit of an effort. But yeah.
Or just like while the players like doing that, and obviously they spread their legs dead wide as well, I just drop to the floor and crawl through the legs. And then as soon as they make contact with you, then it's a foul.
What if they're leaning into you, just move?
Yeah, just let them fall over.
Yeah.
You would probably be penalised for fouling in this day and age in the Prem.
Yeah, I hate it. It drives me mental. So bring in a rule and make it a bookable offence. In fact, no, fuck it, straight red.
Yeah, get off.
Yeah. Could I implement
everybody's time?
Well?
What's that?
Could I add another rule here? Well, I say add another rule, but to be fair, I would make it a rule. Allow fans to drink in the stands. You can do it at the rugby. You can do it in the cricket. Why not football?
It's such an antiquated rule, isn't it?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And for anyone who sort of says, well, for goal winning, I don't want a beer down my back, I'd sooner that than a steaming hot cup of tea.
Yeah.
I think there's just as much chance, isn't there? Yeah, it's that. The worst one of them I've ever encountered was at Stoke. So we were underneath at half time, and there's basically a bit underneath at Stoke where you can actually see the pitch from underneath the concourse. and they wouldn't let you stand there with a beer, even though there was no game on or anything, because the rule is actually you can't be in view of a football pitch with a beer. It's just like...
That's mental.
I mean, how old are we? It's ridiculous.
That is absolutely mental.
Yeah,
One problem it might generate, though, is like you saw it with the World Cup and the Euros, and basically you'd be stuck with those performative dickheads that lash a full pint in the air just to like so that they can put a video on Twitter.
Yeah, just to show what better fans they are.
Yeah. They should not be allowed to drink.
No.
You should have to pass an alcohol competency test to show that you're able to handle a pint before you're served one.
Yeah, so what it is, you give them a pint, right, and then you show them a goal going in. And if they then go get in, sound. If you throw it in the air, right, you're not having any.
Trying the very best to like keep hold of it in a stable manner. While like obviously there's gonna be spills because like I mean goals like Monday night, I almost ended up down like 3 rows down in the bloody lower bullet. That's the best fall I've had at Goodison in a while. It was cracking. So obviously there's going to be some accidents, but it's the ones that like with a full pint, and I almost think a lot of them kept a full pint handy just to lash in the air.
Definitely. Yeah.
Knobheads.
And worse than being in a gaff when that goes off like that.
Oh, no. So
awful.
Pints with lids. You should be allowed a pint with a lid.
In fact, it's got a lid and you've got to drink it out of a little... Yeah.
Like a little sippy cup, like a baby's sippy cup. But you've got a pint.
With that.
Yes.
Definitely.
Make
put paid to any nonsense,
again.
wouldn't it? Right, patent that. Let's go. We'll do a crowdfunder. Sippy cups for beer. The only one I could think of was no diving or bombing in the swimming baths. Stupid rule.
It's the best part of going in the swimming baths, isn't it?
Exactly. And when you've got some overly officious bloody lifeguard whistling everyone for it.
Knobheads. They definitely got bullied at school, didn't they?
Oh, definitely. I got bullied at school and got jibbed for a job as a traffic warden.
Yeah. Traffic warden rejects.
Either milk monitors or failed milk monitors when he has to do the job and the teacher picks someone else.
Monitors. I was a prefect, and basically I was my patch, or whatever you call it, was the canteen. And I never went because I played footy at break time. And one day someone threw a knife in the canteen. And even though there's meant to be 3 prefects there and none of us were there, I was the one who got bollocked. But where were you? I was playing football.
What sort of a knife are we talking about?
It was a butter knife, like it wasn't like anything.
Yeah, like kids brandishing like big Bowie knife.
I mean, it was Birkenhead, but it wasn't quite that bad. But yeah, it was sort of like, what else are you gonna? I don't want to be stood in the canteen at break time playing footy.
Exactly.
Another job I got made redundant from. Ask us anything now. Quick one. Barry Hughes has asked, do you think we will have as many points as Dacoure before Christmas? I assume he means Everton and not us personally for driving infringements. So Dacoure's got 24, which I didn't even think he could get that many.
I mean, what was he doing?
Well, there's been no tales of like drunk driving or anything like that.
He got them in the space of 9 months as well. Essentially, he's just not bothered with speed limits, has he?
No. Do you reckon he's just had one of those nights where he's gone through about 10 speed cameras? A minute once.
Yeah, no speed awareness course for him.
No chance. So by my working out here, we need 6 points from Palace, Chelsea and Leicester. So I am going to say no.
I'm going to say we're going to have more points.
Do you reckon we're getting 7 out of that?
I reckon we get 9.
9.
Yes.
Joe,
We're on a rampage. It's mad what one win can do, isn't it, for your mood?
It's insane.
Honestly, no. I think we'll beat Palace at the weekend, and then I reckon we might get a point off Leicester. Wait, Leicester's at home, innit?
Yeah.
On Sunday.
No, we're losing that. We don't like Sunday early kickoff. Everton don't win.
Full midday kickoff as well. That's ridiculous.
That's horrible. Why we? That's grim. A point from that, and Chelsea away on a Thursday night just screams 4-0, doesn't it?
I'm thinking 5, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I've got tickets and I'm on the front row of the upper tier, which will be a great view. to see Lukaku bury a hat-trick against us.
Oh, don't.
Yeah, that's
Nailed on, isn't it? But, you know, I'm going to be in London Bevy with my Alpha, so that's what it's all about, really. Jobs
exactly.
I don't. I genuinely thought for some reason had Chelsea in my head that we were playing them at home. So if it's away, then yeah, I think that'll be a stretch. You need to ask me again on Sunday. It genuinely depends what Everton turn up. If we're going to get the Everton turned up at the derby, forget about it. If we're going to get the Everton turned up Monday night against Arsenal, maybe. I can see us beating Leicester at home. Chelsea, I think, will be very tough considering they lost to West Ham last week. It just depends how we get on against Palace on Sunday.
The thing about Palace is, though, they're pretty much as bad as us, aren't they? I think Palace fans and Everton fans, and I know a couple of Palace fans, and we're all pretty much the same in the fact that we're so pessimistic about our team. And it's like, you know, if something's going wrong, then it will be put right against Palace. That's how they feel. I was speaking to a lad in work about it today. And if you hadn't beat Arsenal, I would have put my house on the fact that you beat us on Sunday. You've beaten Arsenal and ended that run means I think we've got a chance, which is a really warped way of looking at things, but fully understandable.
Yeah. That's very Everton logic, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. They are very similar. Understandably so as well. I mean, have they conceded 94th minute goals or something in the last 3 games? Yeah, so Leeds, you can see they made a penalty. I think they lost an injury time in another 2 games as well. So
that was horrendous. That penalty they gave away is possibly the most empty head defending I've ever seen.
Ridiculous, wasn't it?
Just genuinely no idea what he was doing. Yeah, they lost to United, lost to Leeds, and lost to Villa.
That was a
86 minutes against Villa, 77 minutes against United, and like you say, like 94 minutes against Leeds. So yeah, they've had a pretty grim run.
What we're saying then, Benteke 1-0, 92 minutes.
Yeah.
Gotta be in it. Foxy's asked, following on from Poet's Corner last week, which was a wonderful addition to Mailbag, I thought. Introducing a further literary slant. Do you have a favourite book or author? Is there a book you've always meant to read but never quite got around to? Paul?
Do you know what? There are quite a few books that I've wanted for a long time to get around to reading. Dan Brown's books, I've really wanted to like just sit down and get my head around because I know some of them could be heavy reading and mind blowing. And we've got a few books of his up there. Origin, Da Vinci Code, I want to get my head around as well. One book I picked up and I regret not finishing it was Nelson Mandela's autobiography, Long Walk to Freedom. But favourite book at the moment, all I've been reading really, books How to Be a Dad. Like fathering for dummies, that kind
Just
of thing.
wing it, mate. It's the best way.
Hey, Les, we finished work now.
It's right. I can shut my email down now. Lovely stuff.
Yeah, I've just done mine there.
Yeah, Dale's the dad books. Just wing it, man. You'll be fine.
Yeah, don't listen to any of those books because they will tell you a whole lot of things that you're not allowed to do that are incredibly good fun.
Yeah, oh, they will, definitely. I know.
Really noted.
Done it. So you'll be fine. You know, we brought up a dashing brood, haven't we, between us, man?
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
You'll be sound.
It is the best thing in the world ever. I don't want to go all dad podcast here, but it really is.
There's class in it, like.
Yeah,
genuine. I mean, even just when they get to this age as well, when they get to that, I mean, it's great when they're wee kids and that because it's all magical and stuff. But when they become teenagers and they become like actual adults that you can communicate with on an adult level, it's just even better.
Yeah, they start becoming like proper mates then, don't they?
Yeah. Although my youngest texted me today saying, "Dad, can you transfer me some money into my account because I'm going Christmas shopping tomorrow?" So. I mean, that is one downside of it. As they get older, they do get their own bank accounts and they do expect you to just send them money.
Yeah. Well, that was I think for about 5 years, it was probably any time I heard from them was, can I have £7 for FIFA points? That was the only time they got in touch with me. It's getting slightly better now, though. But
FIFA points.
Like back in my day, it wasn't FIFA points back then. It was, can I have money for Premier League stickers or World Cup stickers or anything like that, Paninis.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've been rinsed for Fortnite and FIFA. Honestly, absolutely rinsed. Keith, favourite books? Books you wish you'd read?
I don't know. There's none really that I wish I'd read. I've tried to be like all intellectual and read these like, oh, you must books you must read before you turn 30 and stuff. But I'm a bit of a basic bitch when it comes to literature, and I like the Lee Child series of books. And there's a fella that does like historical fiction. The guy's name's Connor Goulden, and he does like the two that I've enjoyed are like, one's about Julius Caesar and the other one's about Genghis Khan, but it's basically in a fictional style, so they are characters in the book. And it's a very entertaining read, and like I'm a proper like Roman history geek anyway, so I love all stuff like that. So it's nice having it like personalized and like having I know it's completely made up, but like an insight into the minds of these people.
Yeah, that's quite an interesting slant on it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very good read.
Yeah.
So he did four books on Julius Caesar, and then I think there was 5 on Genghis Khan, and then like following on from him, his sons and grandsons and whatnot. So
what's his name, the author?
Con Goulden. So IGGULDEN, I think.
I would never spell it now unless you've done it for me. No chance. Good stuff. I'll have a look at that.
Worth a shofty.
If I can recommend any books, it would be Don Winslow, Power of the Dog Trilogy, which is about American drug cartels, the war on drugs. It's amazing. Really
give that a go.
Pretty heavy reading, thick books, but really, really good. I want to try and read Ulysses again, James Joyce, because I did it when I did my degree, but it was very much like just reading passages and talking through it. I picked it up a few times and tried to read it, and it's really difficult to read, but it's such a good book. It's just really, quite tough to read. And once I want to read The Ragged Trousered Philanthropist and Down and Out in Paris and London. I've never read either. I want to read them.
Yeah, it's books you probably should read.
Yeah, I think so.
But I'm the same. I've never read them.
I was going to recommend 3 books to you. The 90 Trilogy by Johnny Proctor.
Yeah.
It's about a young lad who supports Dundee United. It goes from 1990, the first one. So he's it's like sort of the acid house era and all that.
Yeah.
Fights with Aberdeen, things like that. Then it does Euro 96. And then what's the last one? Well, the last one's like goes into the noughties, but it's like a trilogy about this lad. It's really good.
Nice one.
I reckon there's some things you can relate to in there.
Fair enough. I've completely missed out like Irving Welsh, and basically I need my Scottish passport revoking for that. I like Irving Welsh. I like Ian Banks as well. Ian Banks has written some cracking books. And I tell you, another one who might surprise you is Ben Elton. Ben Elton's series of books are actually very, very, very readable.
He outed himself as a raging Tory today, though, didn't he?
Oh, was he?
Yeah. Mrs. Thatcher was a woman of principle, he said. And
sounds about right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's
not bad.
Art and the artist, separate the two.
I'm gonna go burn all. I haven't got any physical books. I don't.
Speaking of shit houses, the last book I read was actually Ancelotti's book. I think when he first joined us, I'd ordered his book straight away. And to be fair, it's a brilliant read. Like into his,
it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good read. And then I think it literally finished reading it into lockdown towards the end of last season. Then he left, and it should be in the bin. It's currently on my bookshelf, so I might need to address that as soon as we finish this.
Do the cop-out thing and hang it on a washing line and set fire to it.
Not a bad idea.
That's the one. Matt Jones, after the brands wanted Livramento reports, I am fuming about that. What's your best football shout that nobody else was having, Keith?
I long and loudly championed Everton to sign Andy Robertson direct from Dundee United for about, I think he left for like about $1.5 million. He's turned into an absolute gobshite now and he can leg it. But like at the time I was like, this kid's going to be class. He's going to be superb. He's going right to the top. And I mean, he has, but yeah, raging gobshite now.
I can't stand him.
Maybe we could have saved him from that.
Exactly, but I think if he's one of those, isn't he? If he's playing for you,
yeah,
you got to
love him. Yeah.
And another one, it wasn't just me, to be fair, because I know Paul was on this bandwagon as well. But we long campaigned to sign Virgil van Dijk from Celtic, and we signed Funes Mori instead for about £4 million more.
Yeah, you know.
Everton. I
tell you what, if there's one manager who really could have done with the director of football and actually might have worked, it's Roberto Martinez.
Yeah. On the flip side to that, I was rather than like saying, "Oh, we should sign someone," it was saying we shouldn't sign someone, and it was Yannick Bolasie. And for a full year before we actually signed him, I decried him as absolute shite. And people would say, "Oh no, he's brilliant, he's class. Look at all this." I said, "No, he's a one-trick pony, and that trick is punting the ball into 30 yards of space and running dead fast after it. When it works, it looks good, but it doesn't work very often." See also that baby oiled freak at Wolves at the moment. He's exactly the same. Bolasie with a weights bench.
Oh God, you know what? I mean, the podcast now could be called Baby Oiled Freak. I'm not sure.
I mean, you'd probably get quite a few listeners from like outside of the usual sphere of influence.
Yeah, and we're another market altogether.
To be fair, I could probably use that picture of Vito for both titles. Paul, give us your smoking hot football take, man.
Well, to be fair, I think there are quite a few. There was a certain striker who we could be coming up against on Sunday, whose name I won't mention because if he scores against us, we won't hear the end of it. But
I know what you mean.
Yeah, we'll leave that one there. The one I did think about that question, the one that immediately came to mind straight away, and like Keith said, I know Keith was on this for years as well, Virgil van Dijk from Celtic. It wound me up that Southampton signed them, and then it wound me up even more when Liverpool spent all that money on him because I knew how good he would be.
Yeah.
Start one sticking in the crowd a bit. The hill I'm gonna die on, and I'll probably get pelters for this. I don't care. I'm gonna say it. I think Luca Dean is shite, and I'm gonna stick to my guns on that. And when we're talking about football takes that are being proven right, and everyone else wouldn't have it, I hope in 18 months' time someone watches this YouTube video back and says, "Oh, fucking hell, he was right, he was shit." And that's just the hill I'm prepared to die on. I watched Ben Godfrey on Monday night, and I watched how quick he was getting up and down the line, just how well he played in general. So we can't have this nonsense about him being held back by the manager. I don't wish any harm on him. He's been a good servant to Everton. I just don't think he is as good as most of our fans make out. When I might be spoiled, I've been brought up on Leighton Baines. I just expect a lot better from me left back, that's all.
Yeah, I think it's the level of defending, isn't it? Whatever, I think I said this, might have been on the kickabout. Whatever it need right now is defenders who can defend. You need a back four who was solid and can defend. Luca Dean is not his strongest suit. That's all. He gives away stupid free kicks.
Yeah.
And he's prone to getting rinsed. So for Godfrey to come in and to play like that, and we won, can't really complain. To be honest, if we got beaten, fair enough, maybe there would have been an argument. But the fact that we won and Godfrey played really well, it's like there can't really be any argument, can there?
Against the good right back in that Tommy Asso as well. He's been a good player for Arsenal this season, and Godfrey didn't give him a sniff.
Yeah. And he put in that thundering tackle, which set the tone, which is always good, isn't it?
Love a Moody tackle.
Yeah.
Made me really miss footballer.
It was a great tackle, but I've no idea how it wasn't a free kick in modern football, because it honestly, it must be like getting chased by a hungry train.
Yeah.
He's just horrible. He's just dead fast and massive and just likes hurting people.
Like a vending machine from Maximum Overdrive.
Apart from that one on the touchline, which was definitely accidental, and he got the ball anyway and didn't mean to kick the guy straight in the face.
No.
Yeah, that was interesting. Got the ball, ref.
Yeah, it was so funny on that, because I mean, I know it always looks worse when it's slowed down, but he looked at him, put his foot up, and then looked away as he kicked in the face, as if to say, "Well, I wasn't looking at her, so how could that be?" Not played, lad. Fair enough. My hill to die on is Tom Davies as a right back, and I won't need anything else. Michael Potter, last question. So what we'll do is, if you've got descriptions for this, I'll do mine first to give you an idea what I'm thinking. I said describe one great and one awful Everton player in your time to someone too young and too YouTubeless to have ever seen them. So my first one is the greatest, a cross between a bin man and Superman.
I like that. I've done absolutely no prep work on this whatsoever, so I'll wing it. So Paul can go before me if he's done any work on it.
One. See if you can get this shit one. Blind as a bat, 6'1" tall, but 5'8" when he jumped.
Blind as a bat.
Brett Angel.
Yes, that's the one.
Oh wow.
The first one was obviously Big Nev.
Yeah. Brett Angel. I think it's a toss up between him and Rondon at the minute. It really is.
So I've got the players in my mind, but I'm now going to try and describe them. I like that. That's sound idea. Right, okay. So the player I would describe the best player in my lifetime, without using YouTube, I would say rapid, Russian, and I remember a quote my dad used to tell me when I was younger. I've always remembered it, going to the game with him. He had rockets in his boots.
Yeah, you had me at rapid and Russian, mate.
Rapid and Russian. Rapid, Russian, and rockets in his boots. Wonderful alliteration. So that would be Kanchelskis, obviously.
Yeah.
Shite player. Oh my God, this is going to be tough.
So where's it from?
Joe, I immediately thought rabbit in a headlight, but you could apply that to literally any sign and Steve Walsh has made for us. Timid, scared of the ball, and Danish pastry would probably be more useful on him, and I'd say that's Per Kroljo.
My first thought was Michael Keane when he said rabbit in headlights. That's really unfair, isn't it? He's not quite there, is he?
He's not Kroljo levels, but he's not far off.
Right, I've got a couple. I've got a couple. So the first one is made a man in a nice coat lose complete control of his limbs and looks in an unhealthy manner at pandas.
Go again.
Made a man in a nice coat lose control of his limbs on television and looks very terrifyingly at baby pandas.
Oh, Sharpie, innit?
Graham Sharp, yeah.
Sharpie in the windmill.
The Evertonians have gone berserk. And the second one
that panda picture.
It's the way he's looking at it. He looks like he's going to just start eating the panda.
It's amazing.
And the second one is comes from a country that's also an alcoholic beverage and was definitely a money laundering vehicle for a fat criminal.
Cuco Martina.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Curacao. It's from Curacao. And he was definitely a money laundering vehicle because you don't give a free agent a 3-year deal when he's that bad at football.
Yeah.
Unless you're on a percentage of those wages.
I am convinced Everton is just a money laundering vehicle now.
Yeah.
If you think of it like that, the past 5 years makes perfect sense.
It does make a lot more sense when you look at it in that manner, doesn't it? Like,
I mean, obviously it's not, you know.
Allegedly.
I mean,
If you just hypothetically look at it in that respect, it does make a lot more sense.
is it obvious? I mean, I don't know.
Not for us to say.
I don't know. What exactly have they buried in Bramley Moor Dock? That's what we should be asking.
I mean, they filled it in pretty quickly, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Too
what
quickly.
what is under that sand?
Good question.
Black transit vans turning up on site at midnight.
Have Marcel Brands and Usman's nephew resigned? Has anyone seen him since?
Has anyone seen Brands since?
Never seen Greta Steinson?
No.
He doesn't exist.
No.
He's a football manager regen.
like that scout, that Italian scout. Do you know the one I'm on about? It's like Giacomuzzi or something like that. You never know he's like associated with the club, but you read his name and he's like reports on the internet and you're thinking,
Everton's scouting network is quite shady, isn't it, when you think about it?
Giacomuzzi sounds like male grooming for plus size men. I'll just leave that one hanging. Right, on that bombshell, lads, that's it for this week's Mailbag. As ever, it's been an absolute pleasure. Cheers, Keith. Cheers, Paul. Thanks to everyone who sent questions in. We will catch you next time.